Hello everybody, welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. As we talk about anything and everything that is geek, will be TV, comics, movies, or video games. And recently I was just sitting online, just kind of scouring the things that's going on with DC and Marvel and all that stuff. And I happened to take notice of something very startling. Little did I didn't know that. I knew that about this a little bit, but not to the extent that it was. And that is, DC has lost its way morally. And no, I don't mean moral like that. I mean moral as in and I mean that, and I can only sum up one question: who are the heroes and who are the villains now? And I'm sorry if anybody out there was confused what I meant by moral. I mean as in who is good and who is evil. Who are the heroes and who are the villains here? And what I mean by that is, I've noticed that ever since the New 52 started, the sudden focus on the bad guys, the villains. And I know for years they've had like the Secret Six, they've had like the Secret Six in which the villains have gathered together to be almost like mercenary type heroes, and same with Suicide Squad. But I'm talking about even deeper than that. And what I mean, Catwoman has had her own book before, but she's been a hero. But you really can't tell what she is anymore since New 52 store. I mean, the first time New 52, her and Batman, first two issues right at the block, her and Batman are in bed together. No other way of saying it. And now in the book, she ain't even of the kind of borderline hero that she was in the pre-52. Now you might as well say she's like a female kingpin. She's like the female equivalent of Wilson Fisk at this point. She's a crime boss. She's a crime boss with, might as well say, another Catwoman on her payroll almost. I mean, she's not acting like a hero anymore. She's a crook. She is a flipping crook. But it's even worse than that. I mean, right off the bat in the New 52, when they started announcing stuff, one of the first things you saw was a new team of Birds of Prey in the Birds of Prey roster. And one of the prominent members is none other than Dr. Pamela Lillian Isley herself, Poison Ivy. What is that? They go from her looking like a villainous seductress in the Batman comics to a tights wearing, a solid black bodysuit wearing superhero in the Birds of Prey. What is that? She's a villain. What's she doing in the Birds of Prey? And I don't know if she's going by evil or not, because she certainly looked like it when she was spotlighted in the whole Villains Month gimmick they had last year. She certainly looked like she was still a villain. But they had her right there in the middle of Birds of Prey. And while I'm on the subject of things that happened, a weird twist that happened coming out of that whole Forever Evil Villains Month thing, the Justice League got a brand new member. And that member was none other than Batman's new pal, Lex Luthor. What is that? I mean, for crying out loud, even on the subject of that, Forever Evil, all the heroes were gone, so who they had to rebel against the evil version of the Justice League? The villains. And then you had that whole Villains Month thing where they highlighted villains. What is that? But it gets even worse than that. I mean, you've got characters like Deathstroke and Harley Quinn, and even in the beginning you had the Red Lanterns, who were prominent villains in the pre-52. They're now trying to be almost red versions of the Green Lantern Corps. Almost trying to be borderline Ghost Riders, you might as well say. A group of Ghost Riders, you might as well say. Sinestro's got his own book now. Larfleeze has got his own book. And now, post-Convergence, Bizarro is going to have his own series. Or at least it's a limited series. Like I said, but Harley and Deathstroke and Sinestro, ones that are known villains Larfleeze, ones that were known villains in the pre-52 or in the new 52, given their own comic series. What is that? I mean, they've given villains like limited series in the past. They're like little, maybe 6 or 12 issues long, almost like a mini series or a maxi series or something. But this is ongoing books for a lot of these characters. What is that? I mean, Marvel may have done that once or twice, but for goodness sake, this is like the big baddies. This ain't like, I know like Venom and Marvel Venom had a book, but he was turning good though. None of these villains have turned good. They're still villains. They're still villains. I don't know if they're trying to do their own thing like with Marvel's Deadpool, but Deadpool is mostly a comedy book. I know he's a bloodthirsty maniac, but he's supposed to be more or less a mercenary that is like a comedy. These books are not comedies. They're dead serious, straightforward books. Action books. I imagine Bizarro is going to be more like a silly book, but still, these are books glorifying villains. And in the meantime, you got this whole thing lined up that they're going to completely degrade the heroes. I mean, they're completely degrading the heroes by remodeling to look like either robots or your ordinary person on the street that you don't even know they're real. They look like a comic book fan more than a comic book hero. Also, you got ones going on the run from intergalactic universal law, or just trying to, I mean, it's just terrible. DC has definitely lost its way. They've lost their way ever since the New 52 started. And it's just gotten worse. And I know I've been railing on DC a lot lately, but I can't help it. You're seeing a company continuing a downward march into the gutter. Into the gutter. As a matter of fact, one of their hit books is a book I kind of enjoyed, but yet at the same time I've started getting tired of, and that's Injustice: Gods Among Us. And I liked it to start with, but they have further and further made Superman a completely unlikable character. No matter how strong they make him look, and I like that, still he's completely gone into the realm of irredeemable. I mean, he's gone into about a lost cause, like the point of no return. He's to the point now where he's so far gone that he's willing to kill anybody who stands in his way. And it's just getting ridiculous now. I mean, I've liked some of the stories they've done and everything, and a recent one where they show him actually, what if he stopped everything from happening that led to him becoming the leader of the regime. I love that. I love that what if story, and I wish that could have altered history, but it didn't. And the fact that the video game is awesome, and like I said, I like year 1 to show how far he'd gone, but 2 and 3, it's just like, okay, we've had enough. It's like you've officially turned the world's greatest superhero into a villain, and well, you don't know who else to root for here. You really don't. Like I said, you don't even know who the heroes are anymore and who the villains are anymore, and it's just sad. At least in Marvel, they have a line drawn that you know who's who. Except when it comes to like Tony Stark and the Hulk, the way they did that, they tried to pull a Didio there. But everybody else, you know they're the good guys. They act like the good guys. But these, you don't know who acts like good guys or bad guys anymore. Everybody talks about a gray area. The whole of DC Comics now is nothing but a gray area full of either straight out villains, or douchebags that happen to have the names of supposedly the world's greatest heroes attached to them. And it's just sad. It's just sad. Straight out sad. And I mean, it's depressing to look at this every day. They're coming out with something new that's constantly degrading DC Comics, and I mean, it's sad to say the only thing that comes out of DC where the good guys look like good guys is the movies and the TV shows. But the comics is like a complete and total moral gray area because you don't know who. Because the heroes don't really act like heroes. They're too busy fighting each other or looking like, not like they're supposed to look or act. And the villains are still how they're supposed to be, and yet they're getting all the books and all the attention. To me, it's sickening. And again, to everybody out there watching, if you're as mad as I am about this, go tell Dan how you feel. Go tell DC how you feel. Tell them you don't like this mess. Tell them, vent your frustrations at him and DC. Tell them how you feel. But what do y'all think? Am I out of line? Do y'all agree with me? Do y'all not agree with me? You think DC should go back to black and white like it's always been, black hats and white hats as it's always been? Let me know. As always, as always, drop your comments in the comment box. I would love to hear what y'all have to say on this subject. And I guess that's all for this week's edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. As always, y'all have any comments about the show, drop me a comment in the comment box. Love to hear what y'all have to say. Like, subscribe, share all your friends, tell all your friends. And if y'all have any ideas about topics you want to hear me talk about on the show, drop them in the comment box. I would love to hear. I'm always looking for fresh new topics to discuss or to talk about on this show. So drop them in the comment. Definitely drop them in the comment box. I would love to hear your ideas. I'd love to hear from you, and you never know when it may be becoming an episode of Mr. J's Geek Corner. So drop your comment in the comment box. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your ideas. I'll see y'all next time.